Welcome along to EXFL Tier 2 Season 12. We're here for round 6 out of 20. It's the Emilia Romagna Grand Prix, the final race at Imola in EXFL Tier 2 and for Tier 1 tomorrow, as the future of this track is uncertain in real life, hence it's uncertain for the games. Whether it will still be in for 26, we do not know. So at the moment, it is the final tour around the Emilia Romagna Grand Prix. So 18 minutes ahead of us, 18 drivers, and a 32-lap race to wave goodbye to a track that has its opinions. Some like it a lot, maybe don't. But it's definitely thrown up a few memorable races and qualifyings in the past. Oren, who's the new championship leader, after Finn missing his third race in a row today. And the last two allowed Oren to take the lead in the championship. He got his first pole here, I believe, by 1,000th ahead of Seb a year and a half ago in that memorable Season 9 title fight between them. And last season also was quite the race, which saw, obviously every season we get, I think Imola's always up there for the most penalties. I think that can certainly be backed by the fact that, and this is the only time I've ever seen this in any league or whatnot, when Tier 2 broke the race director in Imola. I think that was Season X, a year ago or so, I believe. So yeah, last season, which saw Adam climb back through the field after spinning early on, making a last lap overtake for the win on Ocean Blade, I believe it was. Oh, not Ocean Blade, I think, IGTC, or Josh or whatnot. But one's left, one's gone to Tier 1 and whatnot. So yeah, we have a new race on the horizon, and yeah, just under 16 minutes to go to see who's going to get pole position. We've had 5 out of 5 different pole sitters so far this season. Are we in shout of a 6th? So it was Oren who took pole in the opening race of the season, ended up finishing 6th in that race. It was Grush who took pole in the second race in Bahrain, ended up finishing, I think, 8th in that race. Bahrain, Saudi. It was it Dello? I'm going to have a recheck. Oh, yeah, it was Dello. Yeah, it was Dello who took pole in Saudi, and he finished 8th as well. So the top 3, the first 3 pole sitters of the season did not convert them very well into the race. And then round 4 was Toby in Qatar. Obviously, he could have won the race. He had issues that were not in his reach, out of his reach, I guess. And he still managed to claw back to finish 2nd. As he sets the first lap then, he sets the pace. So 1:15.6 is the time to beat. So yeah, he finished 2nd. And then last week, in the land of the rising sun, Samurai converted pole into victory for the first time in 25 races since his debut at the start of last season. So he has certainly tossed his hat in the ring of fighting for this championship. As, yeah, like I said, Oren is the new championship leader, 66 points. He is 3 points ahead of Samurai, as close gaps at the front, as Samurai will now cross the line, second off, but I'm sure he'll do a second run on those same tyres, as Oren now goes nearly 4/10 ahead of Charlie, who always seems to get a good banker right at the start, and he's up there. But by the end, maybe unfortunately he's already given it everything. He's showing promise more here and there in his second season in EXFL, but there are a few mistakes still quite there that need to be buffed out. But in the Ferrari around the Imola circuit, he's going to hope to impress. And the other Ferrari of Chaz F1 has had a unique history at Imola. He's had 3 fastest laps in his entire EXFL Tier 2 career, and they've all come at Imola in Season 5, Season 7, and Season 9. So all 1 year apart, as that's wide out of the final, well, penultimate corner, if you count this one, up to the line. But he now begins his run, so it didn't invalidate him to begin, but he's going to have a slow start, but he'll progress on. Imola, a very tight, twisty, narrow circuit, but that is invalidated now, so he'll have to go again. there are very little overtaking opportunities, ignoring the first straight, the first corner, which isn't really even the first corner. It's Dello goes into the 114s by quite a bit there. He's really improved his one-lap pace so far this season. That is quite a margin to the rest, but we've obviously still got a few left to put a lap time in. So yeah, the top 3 in the championship covered by 5 points. Like I said, Oren on 66 is 3 ahead of Samurai, who's 2 ahead of Finn, who is, like I said, not racing again. He should be back next week. And then 16 points behind Finn is Grush, who started off the season so well, but a few unfortunate results like Bahrain and last week when the unfortunate contact model with Yannick made him pit and finished P10 with fastest lap. He has been left behind a little bit by the top 3, but I'm sure he's in no way out of this. We're already a quarter of the way done with the season, so on to the second quarter before the halfway mark. And I'm sure Grush will want to be right back up there, sending the car through the second chicane. It's a lovely camera angle to see just how much commitment they go into the first sector. He's up by a couple tenths. So yeah, 2 points behind Grush is Ridian, who's not racing today, unfortunately. And 1 point behind Ridian is Toby in P4, who had not the best Japanese Grand Prix. I think he was involved in some incidents with Chaz F1, so he ended up retiring. So he'll be hoping to bounce back. 5 points behind Toby is Yannick, who's been very consistent so far this season, getting some points. I think, yeah, he's scored points in every single race so far. So he's going to hopefully continue the streak. RB, of course. This is also pretty much a home race for them, as they practice a lot here in real life and whatnot. So it's sequential. So yeah, Yannick's 2 points ahead of Dello as Grush goes to P2 then. But yeah, Dello's got quite a gap still. And if he really wants to also toss his hat into the ring and make a mark on his championship, that is certainly the way to do it. It just seems like certain tracks suit certain drivers. One week you're down in 10th, the next you're on pole position. And Birdie, I'd also mention, missed the first 3 races, didn't even score in the 4th race. Finished P11, and then last week he finished 4th, but then got some post-race time penalties, which knocked him down to 8th, I believe. Ridian did get his time penalty removed to get that podium and took it away from Yannick, unfortunately for him. So yeah, P4 for Yannick last time out. Samurai the race winner, and Seb managed to get his first podium since his championship winning season in season 9. That is now 40 podiums for Seb, the first driver to ever achieve that. Well, first driver still to achieve 30. It's still quite a way back to Josh Hewitt on 27, I believe. Josh Hewitt, who has entered every race so far this season, so that's 6 out of 6, but he's had 5 out of 5 DNFs, always deciding to give up, all on his accord. He's not been taken out or anything. So, is it 6th time lucky? 6 times the charm. Can he at least finish a race today? Can he even get some points on the board for Alpine? Alpine, who, I mean, I know Ridian loves Gasly and whatnot, but the imitations are crazy because Ridian scored every single point for Alpine so far. So Josh, a bit reminiscent of season 9 actually, where Seb scored everything and Josh barely scored anything, and then one season later Josh decided to actually lock in and reclaim that championship he got. Coming up to a year now on that. So yeah, with just under 9 minutes to go, Josh is trying to put a lap time on the board. Same with Chaz F1, who's in the pit lane, and Seb close behind also in the first set split, 24-2. Adam's been promoted to the Sauber. Bluey has decided to drop to a reserve. So Adam and Nathan are now the Sauber lineup. I don't know if Nathan will keep hold of his seat though. Looks like he's got some college projects to work on or something up until the summer, so he might give up his seat too. So a few shifts here and there, week by week. Yeah, as for the constructors, RB still looking strong, obviously with Yonder reserving for them. He's practically their 3rd driver as their reserve, because I've just decided to assign him to RB whenever Finn doesn't race. But when Finn comes back next week, Yonder might have somewhere else to go. But yeah, Yonder's been doing really well this season. He just keeps starting at the back and he just drags that car up into really solid points finishing positions. 17th last week, finished 5th after all the penalties. So yeah, will he decide to qualify this week? Answer, no, at the moment. So Samurai's improved to the front row. They're still quite a few tenths off Dello's 14.6. CRB leading the championship. 25 points ahead of Aston Martin. Of course, Oren up there, and Callum, whenever he can race. He did last week, not today. Also helping in that. And Williams third because of Grush, as Adams got a 5-place grid penalty for an incident with Chaz F1. So the two who are currently on the 9th row, the two who haven't set a time yet, have had a little incident there. Hopefully none of them have got wing damage or whatnot. But that was Adam, right? Yeah, so, I mean, no offence, but nothing's going to really change that much, it seems now. So yeah, Williams, then Haas, Red Bull, McLaren, Alpine, Mercedes, Ferrari, and Sauber still are the only team to not have any points on the board so far this season. Right. Dello has just improved by a 10th on his second run. He's looking really in the groove at the moment. Max Verstappen-esque, really, in terms of confidence around what is, I guess, a proper driver track. This, along with Spa and Italy and Japan and whatnot. It's good to see when those are really dialed in and confident with their machinery and skill. So yeah, Samurai second in the pit lane. I think he might be just coming out of the pit lane soon, though. Followed by Grush, Oren and Toby. Still the top 5. Charlie now enters the pit lane. Seb went up to 7th. As a birdie, who, yeah, like I was saying, scored his first points of the season last week, and for Williams. As much as the championship looks a bit far now for him, someone else also missed the first 3 races of last season and still went on to be world champion, and that was Adam. So who knows for Birdie, because I know his race pace is one of the best. It's his quali and sometimes wheel-to-wheel racing and penalties mainly that he needs to work on. But at the moment he's in 8th, which compared to his other qualifyings hasn't been too bad lately. So if he can find a few more tenths of improvement, then yeah, he's looking in a good shape. I think today is going to be about low wings as well, if you really want to get some overtaking done. So if he does have his race engineer, I'm sure he'll be telling him that. Cal's up in 9th at the moment, reserving. It's been a strong season for him so far, considering he's been reserving, getting some good points on the board. Yannick's completing the top 10 at the moment. Deadgun's up in 11th, which is great to see, because like I mentioned last week when he made his first appearance this season, he was anywhere from 4 to 5 seconds off when he was in the league a season or 2 ago. So to only be, well, that's a big climb in pace to be 3 to 5, now within 1.5 like last week. So yeah, that's great to see, as he's ahead of Ollie right now, who's still trying to find his feet this season, struggling to get into the top 10 here and there. I think he got 8th in round 1, which remain his only points of the season. But now he's been fully promoted to the Mercedes, just like Seb, an all-new Mercedes lineup. They've gone through quite a few lineups in the last season or so after Eggy and Chubster. Then it went to Matt and I actually can't remember, but basically they replaced who was? Oh no, it was still Eggy. Yeah, it was Eggy and Chubster, and then Chubster went, so Matt replaced him, and then Eggy and Matt both went. So yeah, Ollie and Seb replaced them both. Yeah, I knew there wasn't another person. And Will's in 13th at the moment, quite close between these guys. Josh in 14th. Louis making his second race appearance after Saudi, reserving in the Aston Martin today. And then, yeah, Adam 16th. And then Yonder still hasn't really done a proper lap time, and Chaz hasn't done any lap time at the moment. So 3.5 minutes to go then. The final lap times are ahead of us. Yeah, I'm pretty sure there's going to be a few drivers who are not going to be too sad to see this track go. A few really showing their distaste for this track, which I fully understand. But it is what it is. You love it or you hate it. So Grush at the moment, I think he's on a lap. He's the only one of the leaderboard not with a pit or outlap symbol next to him. He's up by 39 thousandths after the first 2 sectors. Really attacking the final chicane there. Red light at the back already flashing, so he's clearly low on battery. As he'll make his way around the final 2 corners you have to worry about before the slightly right-hander kink. And he'll cross the line. He's 2/10 off Samurai as he crosses the line. And he improves by nearly a 1/10, but stays where he is. To be exactly 1/10 ahead of Oren. So yeah, it's going to take quite a lap to beat Dello. Can Dello even go any quicker? We'll see. Samurai's still on good form at the moment on the front row. What do you mean, what are the tier 2? I just explained it, like, for the last 10 minutes. Copy. And paste. There we go. Right. Outlaps beginning, and then they'll begin their final flying lap. Toby is going to be one of the last to exit the pit lane, hence going to be one of the last to set his laps. And the Alpine, I believe, it's either Deadgun or Josh. So that's Josh exiting the pit lane then. And as for Deadgun, don't know if he'll also get out there, but the cars are now beginning their final runs. That's Charlie, followed by Birdie, and then the Sauber of Adam. So who do we ride on board with? Let's look at Birdie Saints then. P8 at the moment. Let's see how much he can improve. Down into, well, not really turn 1, but it's the first chicane you have to worry about. And then the quick left-hander, which is taken very nicely indeed. Into the second chicane then. Very fast, sweeping corners. So easy to invalidate. Like I said, the race will be fully focused on time penalties and maybe tyre wear because it's a long race and it's a really long pit lane. So the 1 stop is optimal. A 2, you'll just lose half a minute and you will not gain that back. But yeah, Birdie just sticking within the confines of the racetrack, up by, I think that was 4.5 tenths in the first sector split. He's really given everything in this middle sector now. It's looked like a pretty tidy lap so far from the Williams, who's up by half a second now, which would elevate him to the second row. But he's still got 1 sector to navigate. As that's Cal going up to P6 there. He was on a lap. So as the 2 Haas cars cross the line to finish, start their final lap, we're watching Birdie, who's, I think, just got past Charlie, who must have messed up his lap then. He's invalidated. So Birdie's kept his valid then, and he'll cross the line. Where can Birdie Saints get his Williams? Up to P5 then. Lost a slight bit of time in the final sector, but at the moment it's a top 5 start. Charlie will be 8th. Deadgun will be 11th at best. Josh Hewitt and Adam will be 16th and 17th, and who'll be next to cross the line? That's Yannick, who's just gone to P10. And then the other Williams of Samurai. How close can he get to Dello? Not close enough. He's 12 thousandths off his own lap time. So what about Oren? Could he challenge? He got his first pole here in Emilia a few seasons back. He goes onto the front row at the moment. Dello goes even quicker with a 14.2. He's in his element. He's in the zone at the moment. Seb is 7th. And we see the McLaren of Cal just backing off. We see the other McLaren of Grush in the pit lane. And we see the other Mercedes of Ollie go P14. Then we see the other Aston of Louis cross the line in 13th. And then we see, who's that? Who's just going to the pit lane? I believe that's Yonda, who will start this race in P18. And last, just the Haas cars left then, I believe. Will is down by a few tenths, but he's found quite a lot in the last, so he goes P13. And what about Toby right at the end, who goes onto the front row? So I believe that is it. Birdie already did his lap. Same with Cal. So that is qualifying. Dello, by a mammoth half a second, has taken his second pole position of the season, of his career, and the streak has ended. It's a second pole for Dello. This time round, unlike Saudi, can he convert it into a victory? Because that is quite the gap. And, well, the race is always usually closer. But that is quite a gap. Dello must really be in tune with and one with this track. So, the top 2 in the World Championship, 3rd and 4th. Toby and Dello, who certainly want to get in on the fight for the championship, on the front row. Grush and Birdie, also 2 very strong contenders, on the 3rd row. Chaz F1 went 8th as well at the end there. Apologies for missing that. So yeah, both Ferraris in the top 10 then. Cal in a Scuderia sandwich there. So the 5-place grid pen will drop Adam 1 place. So yeah, Yondo will not start last. He will start 17th. It is a dry race from what I can see. Don't know if it's going to be any different later on, but at the moment, looks dry. I didn't see anyone complain of rain in the chat. So yeah, we should be good. 32 laps. It's a lot of laps. And a lot of stress on the tyres with some of these corners. Mainly the fast chicanes and the long left-handers. So if you can do a one-stop, hard, medium, medium, hard, that is optimal. But some of these Tier 2 drivers might have to go with a 2-stop and risk losing half a minute because this pit lane is long. So we're going to see what the tyres everyone's decided to pick as they make last-second fuel changes and setup tweaks. And the formation lap will begin then. Don't need that. Don't need that for now. Right, let's have a look. Everyone is on mediums, apart from Yannick in 11th, who's decided to be brave and go on the hard compound tyres. Try and go long into the race, see what happens, and we'll put the mediums on at the end. We still have not had a safety car this season, as that's one of the Alpines getting frisky on the grass. 5 races in, so what's that? 98 out of a potential 100, so now it's 116 out of a potential 120. No safety car yet. We've had a VSC, but only once, I believe, in Saudi, as I think 2 people might get disqualified. I think I saw some contact. Oh, maybe not. It looked close between, I think, Chaz and Cal there. So yeah, 1 VSC in Saudi because someone clipped the wall and retired. I think that might have been Josh or something. And then last week in Japan, no, I don't remember anything happening. I think, actually, no, there was a VSC last week, I think. But again, there's been no safety cars, from what I can definitely recall. So yeah, who knows? It is Imola. There can certainly be chaos at the start. It's Dello. If this is anything to go by the race, he's getting on with it. Toby really backing the rest up. Dello's not messing around. So put on pens, put on interval. There we go. So yeah, the start, lap 1, or the run down to turn 1 or 2 can be very chaotic. Maybe even in the first 100 metres, we always see maybe someone's messed up, spun or whatnot, but especially when we get to that rundown into turn 1, as that's Oren, who's already parked on his grid spot. Now, 3rd place isn't exactly the worst place to start, but Dello knows what's up. He's pointing straight where he needs to be, because the front row need to technically turn a little bit to the right when they begin. So Dello parking immediately to the right to make sure he gets the best possible start. And, well, 3rd place, if you do get a good start, you never know. Samurai watching the top 3 gear up, and he'll see what he can do. Can he take the lead of the championship from Oren today, or will Oren extend? And what can everyone else behind and in front do? Everyone's in place then. Let's get ready for the final EXFL Tier 2 Emilia Romagna Grand Prix in Season 12, Round 6, 5 lights. It's lights out, and away we go. Dello looks like he has gotten a good start, and Oren has as well, as Toby drops to 3rd, and so does Samurai as they fight. As it looks like Dello is going to lead into turn 1 from Oren. Samurai on the inside, Toby around the outside, trying to take 3rd away, but Samurai's ahead, and there is chaos behind, as it looks like that's Chaz and Birdie who have got caught up in incidents. So it's Dello from Oren, Samurai, Toby, Grush, Deadgun's up to 6. What a start from him. Then Seb, then Charlie, then Yannick, and Louis made his way up to 10th, and there's more incidents at the back. The McLaren going across the grass of Cal, and Ollie in the background. That's Will also dropping down the order, spinning. Chaos like usual in Imola on the opening lap. So yeah, that's about 4 or 5 cars that have come to blows. So Samurai did manage to stay ahead of Toby, and Oren got a great launch to get ahead. Well, Oren and Samurai got a great start compared to Toby, who's not had the greatest of starts once again this season, as looks like Grush has held his way. But yeah, mega start from Deadgun, up 6 places. Same with Adam, who started at the back. Where's Yonda? He's up 4 as well, as a side-by-side action between him and Cal nearly. As that's a big gain in pace from Adam, who's passed Josh Hewitt now. That's 7 places for the Sauber. And yeah, great stuff from him and Deadgun. But he's under big pressure from Seb, who's trying to overtake him. No threat at the front, pretty spaced out. So we look further behind. No DRS at the moment, but it will be on the next lap. And yeah, Adam is still ahead of Josh then. So 7 places on the opening lap for the Sauber, who goes slightly deep. That's going to allow Josh, as Seb is ahead now of Deadgun, who's trying to stick it around the outside. Seb leaves in the room, and Deadgun's gone straight into Seb there and rejoins into Yannick. That was all sorts of wrong. And I think Deadgun's going to have to put his hand up there and say, that was my fault. And now Adam, the two who had amazing starts on lap 1, have had dreadful lap 2s. And it's all gone wrong as Ollie's out. Probably should put the mini-map on. I don't know if he's pressed retire or whatnot, but his car's stopped, I believe. So that's kind of interesting. But anyway, Oren making sure Dello does not run away at the moment. Like I said, race pace is a lot closer than quali pace, as Yonder's up into the top 10 already. So quickly put it back. So Yonder now becomes the new 7 places gained driver. And look at that, Louis up 6 places as well after the whole Deadgun and Adam incident. I don't know why Deadgun's ghosted or whatnot. As we look to the front, they're a lot closer than the last lap, thanks to the help of DRS. So Dello, will he start to feel the pressures? The top 4 are pulling away from Grush, who's a bit on his own at the moment. Charlie's up in 6th, and Yannick's up to 7th from their respective starting positions. And yeah, Seb's dropped down to P10. Josh Hewitt now going off into the grass. And wow, that must be a record. It's unfortunately becoming a familiar sight. But wow, that is early for his standards. And yeah, Birdie, who did get caught up in the turn 2 melee at lap 1, has got it all to do from the back now. An actual decent qualifying has turned into what usually he does in the race, where he makes his way through the field. But he's got a way to go to even find the next driver in front of him. So Grush has caught the top 4 slightly. We've got more yellows. Is that... Who was that? I don't even know. Maybe Deadgun. I still don't know why Deadgun's ghosted. Maybe he left. I didn't see. Right. We start lap 4 then. And I think every lap has had some sort of drama. Oren blasting everything. Dello has got much more battery, but Oren with the overspeed. Will he try and take the lead on Dello to the inside? Dello hangs it around the outside and stays ahead for now. Yonder's getting past Louis, so he's already up to 8th. What a start. As Will fighting away with Seb, the two Tier 2 champions left on the grid, as the other one gave up a lap ago. As Will's fighting for him for 10th and is ahead for now. So yeah, Dello, good defense, good battery usage, and good straight line speed as well to hold off Oren, who's really putting him under pressure, as that's Cal getting past Deadgun. I'm going to quickly invite him. Says he's in the main menu, so I guess he's guided. Really didn't see him leave, but yeah. So Yonder, who started, like I said, 17th, is up 9 places. He's already halved more than half the field into 8th. This is fantastic stuff from the RB driver, who's next up is his teammate. And yeah, Charlie's doing well in the solid points, but by the end of the race, that's never usually how it goes. So if he can keep hold of this, kind of how he did in Qatar, but he had pens, then we'll see. And speaking of pens, we're 5 laps in and no one's got a time penalty yet. That is very surprising, as Samurai and Oren, the top 2 in the championship, go side by side. Samurai round the outside of Oren, may have to take a warning just to make sure they don't come together. They're still side by side. Now Samurai gets the overspeed. Samurai is now back in front of Oren, who's sliding about in the dirty air. So that's a crucial move. And at the moment, if it was to finish like this, they would be level on points, as Chaz gets a time penalty for speeding and retires in the pit lane. That yellow must have been him. I wasn't looking at the minimap. But yeah, good battle between the Williams and the Aston Martin. So yeah, Toby, who was on the front row, lost 2 places to these two. Yeah, so Oren back where he qualified, and yeah, Samurai's now ahead. So now it's Samurai's turn to see if he can fight Dello, because it really looks like Oren's struggling out of corners for traction. Looking to save some battery, because look how much Samurai's already pulled away. Now Toby, mate, getting on the out. Look how much battery he has. Look how much Oren's struggling. And you get the feeling that Toby may be able to get past Oren soon, as I think Deadgun is back in his cart. So Dello starts lap 6, Samurai not blasting. And Toby can see Oren's light flashing, goes to the inside, will absolutely clear the Aston Martin and get back up into 3rd place. And yeah, Grush tagging on here as well. That's Oren all out of shape there through turn 4. Seb now gets a time penalty for speeding. Seb retires in the pit lane too. So yeah. Oh, that's Will going off. That's an interesting corner to go off. But yeah, that was Louis getting ahead of Will, who drops down to 11th outside the points as Cal gets ahead of him now. Don't know if there was an incident between the Aston and the Haas, or if he just lost it. And as much as I say this amazingly, still no 3-second time penalties. I'm pretty sure the first one will be coming soon. But crucially, there it is. What timing, as Birdie is the one to get the first time penalty. Dello has got Samurai outside of the 1 second gap as we are heading into the detection point. Samurai's blasting his battery trying to get it, but he has missed out by about just under half a tenth. So Dello, is this his chance to pull away? Is Samurai now going to fall under pressure from Toby? So you can just see the difference in struggles with Oren. Maybe he just pushed too hard at the start. He's now going to be overtaken by Garouche now. And what about Toby? He's gaining on Samurai, and he's gained quite a lot because Toby's back up into P2. Covers the inside. He might be slightly compromised on the exit. Samurai will switch to the inside, but I'm sure Toby has it covered. So now he's made up for his start. He's back where he qualified. He's still within a second of Dello, as that's Charlie going off now. So both RBs are ahead of the Ferrari. And now Louis will close in as well. Louis in his second race. Didn't even have a sniff of points in his debut in Qatar, but today is looking a lot better for him. We've already lost 4 drivers. Yeah, Toby just about sticking within DRS though of Dello. More yellows as that's Birdie who's gone off into the wall, followed by Will. And if Birdie can remember what reverse gear is, he can put it there and get back onto the track. And yeah, that's great. Yeah, that wasn't intentional at all. However, that thing also doesn't help. So we have a safety car then, the first of the season, caused by idiots. But anyway, I'm sure everyone on the mediums will take this upon themselves to pit. However, Yannick, who's in 6th on the hard compound tyres, what does he decide to do? Stay out or pit again? Because at the moment, this race may have just turned 2-stop. Yannick pits, yonder. I mean, they're going to stack, but obviously he's not going to lose any time. Charlie's 10 seconds behind, so it's all good. And like I said, with there being 24 laps, we're only a quarter of the way done. I'm not... Louis speeds under safety car as well. You'll have to pit next lap and serve that. It's just the better thing to do. So everyone's pitted. No one stayed out of the top 11 anyway. And everyone else behind me as well. So yeah, with there being 24 laps still, I really doubt hards can go that long into the race. So this may turn to be a 2-stop. As, well, everyone who was on mediums has gone hards. And obviously Yannick, who was on hards, goes mediums. Deadguns decided to go mediums again. Okay. So yeah, didn't help. Will was messing around quite a bit. Lost his whole front wing. That is probably what mainly caused the safety car. But it didn't help that this guy just forgot what gear 1 was, or even the pause menu of resetting to track was. So yeah, both idiotic, I guess. So Dello can live and breathe a little, being the, well, safety car's the net leader at the moment, but he will be it soon. I'm sure Toby's happy with himself to... he's practically lost nothing. He's made up for his mistake at the start, which I think is seeming to be his biggest issue at the moment, starts. So he needs to get on that. Samurai looks like he's taking care of his penalties and mainly tyre wear because he still looked pretty quick and strong. Grush was just tagging along. Maybe he was just looking after his tyres and then started to strike before the safety car. And Oren, that's very concerning considering it looked like he burnt through his tyres very quickly as he was struggling a lot. And yeah, considering, well, ignoring Yannick because he's on the alternative strategy, because there's a safety car now, Yonder's been brought. I mean, he was already kind of into it, but he's been brought right into it now. Anyway, Louis didn't serve his 10 sec for some reason, even though he definitely should. But anyway, he carries on. Adam, Will and Birdie still yet to join the pack. Yeah, I think it's safe to say we're not going to miss this track at the moment. A lot of chaos, maybe a bit too much for now. Dead gun penalty for an incident with Cow under the safety car. I guess if it's his fault, then he, I guess, deserves the blame. I wouldn't say a 10-second, obviously, but yeah, luckily Cow hasn't been screwed over from that if that was his fault. And yeah, these two had amazing starts, but their wheel-to-wheel action is dreadful. As you can see right there, they've both hit each other. Yeah, Adam doesn't get a penalty for that, and he's got wing damage. I don't see how it's not difficult to just keep to a normal speed, but anyway, Will's caught the pack, and Birdie will soon as well. Safety car will be out for no more laps. It's coming in, so that was quite late. So yeah, Della will have to gear up. Apparently someone readied up quite early. That's why a few people's setups weren't changed, including Chaz F1. So unfortunate for him. It looks like his setup was quite on driver. Was Dello's really backing them up, 29 miles an hour. That might be a little too slow, but he gears them up then. I think amazingly everyone behind has managed to still keep their front wings. So we resume on lap 10. Samurai is sniffing at the back of the Haas, who's now in the slipstream of Dello, and the top two are going to go side by side. Is Toby daring to go around the outside? No, he thinks better of it. Dello stays ahead then of the Haas, and then Samurai, and then Grusha's spinning off in the background. There is Will, as looks like everyone else has managed to retain their position. And yeah, off into the background is Will. Birdie, I don't even know if he caught the pack, as Louis now gets a time penalty. So that must have been just a normal warning. He must have been on 2. As that is Yonder coming under pressure from Charlie. And if you're Yannick, you really want to try and gain some places. Oren round the outside of Grush was never going to work, and that has cost him because Yannick has now gotten ahead of the Aston Martin. And Oren now finds himself in a RB sandwich, but he's fighting back at Yannick, also trying to go around the outside of a corner that never usually works. Yannick gives him the space, and they've gone side by side through that chicane. Great stuff, but they're still wheel to wheel. And who's going to win this fight? Looks like Yannick is for now, as Oren has 2% compared to Yannick's 40-odd. So yeah, Oren struggling, and he might come under pressure from Yonder now, because you can see that red light flashing, and Oren's just falling further down the order. I think that's a given. What's not a given is, are there going to be any swaps in the top 3? Toby close to Dello, but no DRS. So this time next lap, we could see Toby into the lead of the Grand Prix, as that's Charlie going around the outside of Oren, who gives him just enough space. And now Oren gets compromised on the exit, so Charlie's ahead. And now Oren nearly puts his teammate onto the grass there. And they're going to go wheel to wheel. The two Aston Martins. Oren braves it to the inside and stays ahead for now, but goes off slightly. Charlie now gets a penalty. And once again, chaos. But, you know, it's decent chaos on the opening laps of the restart. So this has brought Birdie into play. Will did end up retiring. So the top 3 have already gapped Grush by over a second. They're really putting Dello under pressure. He really wants this win. He wants to be a race winner in EXFL Tier 2, but so does Toby, the top 2. Never won a race, either of them. Toby had his shot in Qatar. It was unfairly taken away from him. Dello had his shot in Saudi, and I guess that was more on him. So who's going to redeem themselves today? Birdie with a time penalty, going off into the gravel. That's Dead Gun, sorry, as Birdie's off on the left into the grass, losing bits of his wing. So more incidents between the guys at the back. Now we start lap 12. Is this Toby's chance then? Gaining in the slipstream with the DRS, with the battery. He's got the job done. And Toby is now the new leader of the Emilia Romagna Grand Prix ahead of Dello. And Samurai sticking close behind. Grush once again bit on his own. Yonder's ahead of Yannick now. So Yonder's up to the top 5 as Oren has gone off with Charlie. The Aston and the Ferrari make contact. And Oren's evening is getting from bad to worse. The championship leader in turmoil at the moment. Samurai will have a pretty big smile on his face at the moment because he now is going to be the new championship leader. And he's still got an opportunity to even get better than third. Grush obviously will want to come into play as well. So that's Oren and Finn. 2 of the top 3. Not scoring points at the moment. Well, I guess Oren will after Birdie's pens. Wow. Okay, so Grush nearly back within a second because these two are saving some battery. Toby's getting on with it. Do you see what I mean with the difference in race pace to quali pace? Because at the moment, Toby's looking strong. And Dello's now under pressure. More penalties throughout the order. That was Charlie getting one. And maybe Adam. Who is at 9th, to be fair. This is Adam's, 16th Grand Prix? He still holds the record for most races without scoring a point. Will that streak come to an end today? Samurai not deciding to blast battery, so the top 3 will stay as they are for now. Grush coming under pressure from Yonder. Top 5 looking good. That's Cal getting past his mate Louis. 4P7. Adam bit on his own. Birdie's in the points, to be fair to him. And yeah, Oren still has a wing intact at least. And yeah, Charlie just avoids speeding. Is in the pit lane. And now he retires. So then there were 12. Top 5 pretty much within a second of one another. Yannick, not exactly using his mediums to the best of his ability as I thought he would. I thought he would be making his way up through the field a bit more. Is he trying to save it? Because he's definitely going to have to pit again. No way are those mediums going to the end. But I think we're on for an interesting end to this race. Who here is going to try and take the hards to the end? I honestly don't think anyone can. And if they can, not only are they pretty much going to win, maybe, but they fully deserve that win. So let's see if anyone can try. But I am pretty much convinced it's a 2-stop now. It depends if they picked balanced or harder. Or I mean, if you pick softer, I mean, you're kind of shot in the foot anyway. But because softs, I don't know. They don't really look like they last that much. Della gets close, not close enough. So no changes in the top 5 at the moment. Cow's emerged himself up in his 7th, like I said, last lap. So he's looking good. He's bringing Louis along with him. I really don't know why Louis didn't pit under the safety car. So yeah, now we can take a bit of a breather as we approach the halfway stage. So, if you did pick balanced and you have 2 sets of mediums and 1 set of hards, perfect. You can push like hell on these hards, pit around lap 20, 21, 22, maybe for mediums, and see what you can do. If you picked the harder allocation, so you have 1 set of mediums and 2 set of hards, you maybe pit whenever really. You can go long into the race and then put the hards, or pit really early and undercut everyone else if you know everyone else is going to pit. Or it's just a draw. It's a stand in the desert. You point your guns at each other until someone blinks or shoots, and this rate it could go until someone gets a puncture. And well, they're all going to see if they can brave it out. They all want to win. Let's see who's going to risk the most. So Oren now gets the time penalty, making the bottom 5 with pens and the top 7 great at the moment. It's a bit similar to Saudi a few weeks ago, where the top 7 or 8 were amazing. None of them got pens. A bit like last week as well, actually. Japan, the top 6 or whatnot, were great. So Dello is fighting back at Toby now. Looks like he's putting him under a bit more pressure. I think another deciding factor between the top, mainly 5, because they're the ones mainly in winning contention. But if Yannick on the mediums, his tyres fall off first, I think he's just had a moment there through the grass. If he decides to pit early because he's on the mediums, and then get a big undercut, maybe that could put him back in contention. But at the moment, he is really struggling, and Cal is gaining on him too, bringing Louis along with him. So at the moment, the race win is between these 5, who are definitely within a second of one another now. Let's look at battery. Yonder's looking great. Grusha's got half. Samurai's got a bit more. Dello's got a bit less. And Toby's looking fine as well. And the thing is, if any of these 5 are the first to get a time penalty, 1, that puts their chances of winning at risk, but it may persuade them to pit earlier than they would have wanted, or even if they were gonna. So let's say at random, and I really don't want to jinx this, but let's say Dello gets a time penalty, because I'm pretty sure I saw him get one last lap at the second chicane. Does that influence his mind to pit again instead of trying to go to the end, try and get an undercut? That way he's 3 seconds ahead of the rest. Once they pit, maybe. I don't know how powerful the undercut is really around here. But considering, how much better tyres are around some of these corners, I'm sure it's quite a bit. But at the moment, it's looking good. Birdie gets back past Oren. I didn't even see Oren overtake him. But yeah, they're fighting for P10. Oren gets the exit. He's blasting his battery, or what he has left of it anyway. Birdie round the outside, still ahead. Oren's going to brave it now around the outside. They make slight contact. Birdie saves the car from spinning, and Oren gets ahead. Probably a bit unfair, but oh well. I don't know if Birdie maybe went into him, but I mean, considering the wing damage he has, he can't exactly do that corner perfectly. So yeah, a little interesting moment between them. Halfway done then, and I'm sure the second half won't be as chaotic as the first. And we can get some good racing down. So when does Dello decide to attack back at Toby? He's blasting his battery. Toby sees it, so he deploys his as well. And Dello looks like he's going to blast absolutely everything. He wants to retake this lead, and this is the closest he's got. Birdie gets another time penalty. Dello isn't exactly level with Toby heading into the chicane. But maybe he can try on the exit here, and he nearly loses the car in the dirty air. That was a mega save from the Red Bolt. So he lives to fight another lap from Toby. And I don't think there are any swaps here, but I'm sure I saw something. But they have caught Yannick. Birdie now speeds into the pit lane. 32 seconds of pens. And yeah, it's not been his day. He retires. Then there were 11. So yeah, I'm just going to double check something real quick in the records. Most races without a point. Yeah. We've had drivers in the past who have done 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, whatever races, and they've either left or whatnot, been kicked or whatnot, and they've never scored points. I think we had one guy who did 7 races. Yeah, he's second on the list. He did 7 races, and oh, that's Oren. He remembers what reverse gear is. Yeah, he did 7 races and never scored a single point. The first place holder on that list is Deadgun. This is his 16th race in EXFL Tier 2, and he has never scored a point, but this is 100% his best opportunity to do so, even though he's half a minute off the lead. As that's Yannick getting overtaken by Cal and Louis, I think, now. So, yeah, Yannick looking really defeatist there on the straight. I just don't know if his mediums have fallen off or what, but he's lost an incredibly massive amount of pace to these guys. It was 6 seconds, now it's doubled. But yeah, even though he's half a minute off the next car, if there's a safety car, if any one of the front retire, then Deadgun is going to score his first points in Tier 2 after 16 attempts. Don't really know whether that'll put him on that list. Most races before first points. I may as well check. Before things maybe start to take a turn with pit stops. Most races before first points. There we go. Deadgun's ahead of Oren now, who's exiting the pit lane. So at the moment, he is going to get that point. Quickly see if any of the top 5 are going to pit. Nope. Right. Here we go. Most races before first points. Actually, as we see, no swaps in the top 5. That would put Deadgun second on the list. 16 races before first points. The first place holder is Bluey. Took him 21 races before he scored his first points in Tier 2. But I'm sure Oren's quick enough to catch Dead Gun. Louis with another time penalty. So, lap 19 then. The top 5, nose to tail, like they have been for the last few laps. We have lost 7 drivers from this race. Ollie retired in the first couple laps at the exit of the second chicane. It was weird. It looked like he pressed retire, but his car didn't move. So, that one's weird. Josh Hirt retired, clearly. Probably the earliest one of the season so far for him. That's 6 out of 6 DNFs for him. Not really a record he's going to love, considering I do believe that is actually a new record. Well, I say new. He's equaled the record of most retirements in a row of 6. So if he races next week and retires, new record for him at least. Chaz F1, I think, had the wrong setup, so he retired. It must have been pretty undrivable in the pit lane, which is fair. Seb also retired in the pit lane, and so did Will. And so did Charlie, and so did Birdie. So those ones were fair, I guess. Dello is closing up to Toby, but he's not closing up enough. Toby has good straight line speed there, it seems. So, this is where the stalemate starts to begin then. 12 laps on those hard compound tyres. I'd say, what? It's like a 14, 18, 13, 19 sort of medium hard, hard medium stint. So when we get to... The hards should be hitting their 30%, 40% mark now. As that's Adam now ahead of Yannick, who's into the pits. Adam's up in 8th. Good on him. Has Adam scored points? Oh, wait. I think I've completely messed this up. I've messed up. I've got the people confused. Deadgun's Stepan, isn't he? Adam is the one who's done 15 races without points. My bad. So yeah, this is Adam's 16th race, and at the moment he is 8th and on for his first points in EXFL Tier 2. Apologies. However, I don't think Deadgun has got points either. I think this is his 7th race. I really don't know. That one's obviously a bit more crazy. But yeah, Adam at the moment is going to get points. Anyway, looking back to the front. Dello, really not close to Toby this lap round. So yeah, I guess when they start to get towards 18 laps on those hards, which will be on lap 26, those final 6 laps are going to be very important. How much is the tyre wear? How well can they keep it within the confines? Because the more they struggle, the more they think about the tyres, the more they make mistakes, the more they could get time penalties. And if you were Toby and got one, that would drop you all the way to 5th. You've done nothing wrong. Well, you've made up for the thing you did wrong at the start. Then you've overtaken the leader. You're winning the Grand Prix. And then it would all go undone and you'll drop to 5th. That is always a gut punch. But at the moment, the top 5 doing everything they can. Cal 15 seconds further back, towing Louis along. Adam on his own. I'm sure Yannick will hunt him down. As the top 8 all on the same strategy. The rest behind have pitted since the safety car. Grusha's not got DRS this lap. Samurai's got plenty of battery. Dello's got about half of that. Toby's looking fine. Does Yonder now see this is the moment to strike? You can see Grush flashing. He doesn't even put up a fight. Yonder from P17 is now up into P4. Mental. However, he has lost DRS to the top 3 due to Grush losing DRS. So, do the top 3 save battery? Is that Yonder's opportunity to close back in? If any one of these 3 get a time penalty, or if Yonder makes one more overtake, that is going to be a podium for the RB. He doesn't miss this season. At every race, he just starts near the back, and he delivers with some great hauler points. As Oren's back in front of Deadgun now, and that's Cow making a mistake. So Louis up to P6 in his second Grand Prix. I mean, he's got loads of pens, but yeah, Cow's made a mistake there. Second chicane catching quite a few out. So, 10 laps to go. It may be now or never now for the top 5 to make a decision. If they want to pit for, you'd assume mediums, because hards for the final 10 laps wouldn't really, well, they'd be fine, but mediums would obviously be quicker, mainly, for these guys. So, do they pit? They know they're going to come out behind these 2, and no one decides to pit. Cow now gets a penalty. Dello's gaining, but it's just not enough. Toby's doing everything right at the moment in his disposal. And yeah, it looks like Grush is struggling at the moment. So yeah, if any of these guys were to pit, half a minute, they drop behind Louis and Cal. They could probably overtake both of them within a lap or two, make them not lose too much stuff. But the thing is, they're just not going to make up half a minute if the rest's tyres keep intact. Alright, put it back to that. Right, Grush looks like he's the first of the 5 to be struggling with tyre wear mainly. He's lost DRS now to Yonder, who's caught the top 3. So Yonder looking good at the moment. Samurai, well, he's maybe doing what he did in the first stint, just biding his time at the moment. Still looking strong, but waiting to strike. At the moment, though, it's Dello versus Toby, because you have to be first or second around this track if you're going to win the race. And, well, we saw a last lap overtake for the win last season. And at the moment, it's setting it up well, you know. Toby and Dello never won a race in Tier 2. They both want to. And at the moment, we are going to get a new winner. Grush is in then. He does decide to pit. Stops to make sure he doesn't speed. Once again, Dello isn't close enough, so Grush will put the medium compound tyres on. I'm going to quickly change my batteries. So, Grush exits the pit lane. There's Louis, there's Cal, and yeah, Grush will come out a few seconds behind his teammate. They're both running the chrome livery. So yeah, Grush, nothing to lose. He was 5th. By the time he catches up to them, he'll still be 5th anyway, so he knows he's not going to go any further in the race. Maybe risk it if any of the top 4 get penalties, but by the end, maybe they'll gap him anyway of 3 seconds. So yeah, good call from Grush. Maybe a lap or 2 too late, but still a good call, because now it's now or never. If the 4 ahead of him before he pitted want to cover him off, they've got to cover him off now, or they're going to end up behind him, I think. It'll be interesting. Looks like Yonder's closed up to Samurai, who's struggling. Has Samurai even got DRS? We will find out. They stay out. Samurai does have DRS, but Yonder is quite close. But I think that DRS has saved him. Dello, not close enough. And neither is Yonder. This is going to be close, because we know how Samurai's had tyre troubles in the past. And last lap or penultimate lap punctures. Yonder, I'm not really too sure on his pace, but his tyres in the past, but he looks racy at the moment. That's Louis and Khaled. So that frees up Grush perfectly. So Louis is going to serve his 10-second. I think Grush, yeah, hadn't even caught them 2 yet, so that was perfect for him. He can get on with it. He's making it to the end. And if anyone in front have a puncture after pit, he will gain a place from where he was going to finish anyway. So, yeah, game on. Dello's fighting Toby for the win, and it looks like Yonder's fighting Samurai for the podium. That's what it seems at the moment. And Yannick, actually... oh, no, I thought Yannick... Nah, Yannick's still 18 seconds behind Grush. Never mind. But yeah, top 6, no Pens. The 5 behind, Pens. Oren chasing Adam down for P9, but Adam in his 16th Grand Prix still... Oh. Wait, who's that? Oh, that's Louis exiting the pit lane. Adam to the inside on Louis then. Gets the place. I think that was fair, as he's ahead. Louis will probably re-overtake him, but with all those penalties in 6 laps, that's a big job to do as the leaders make their way on lap 26. Dello's quite close this time, and he goes for it to the inside. He tags Toby, and, well, Yonder stays behind Samurai for now. I'm pretty sure that was on Dello. Toby could have turned if he wanted to, which he did, and Dello spied a little look. Maybe getting a bit desperate now. That might have been a warning, but no harm, no foul at the moment. It's getting tense. Like I said, when we get to lap 26 and they get to 18-lap-old tyres, now it could be anything. And we'll get to the post-race interviews and they'll say, oh yeah, my tyres were only on like 50%. What are you worrying about? But who knows? Toby, who wants redemption from Qatar a fortnight ago. A win, a potential win that was taken from him through no fault of his own. Dello, who wants redemption for the potential win he lost in Saudi 3 weeks ago. They both want to get their first race win in EXFL Tier 2, and Emilia is no stranger to delivering new time winners. But who's it going to be at the moment? Toby's covering off Dello. Dello trying everything, but if anything, he's falling a bit further back each time. Samurai under pressure. No DRS this time. Yonder, who started P17, is now on the podium for RB. It's been a brilliant race so far from him. Driver of the day, 100%. And he just doesn't miss so far this season. Like I said last week, if he bothers qualifying, he may even end up winning races. But it's weird because he could probably qualify and still end up where he is all race. It's just how racing goes sometimes. But it looks like Samurai, he is struggling. He knows, though, I'm pretty sure he is going to be the new championship leader. Because Finn's not racing and Oren's down in 10th, which will probably turn into 9th soon. Maybe even into 8th. But it'll still be enough for Samurai, who just has to nurse it home now in 4th. If he has to make a pit stop, he'll lose a place to Grush in 5th. So what does Yonder do now? Does he hunt the top 2 down? Adam with a second penalty confirms Oren's practically going to get 8th now. Dello and I don't know how many warnings the top 4 are on. Probably make it the top 3 now because you can clearly see Samurai is backing off. 5 to go. And these 3 are doing a really good job of looking after their tyres, making them go to the end. But the question is, will they? Dello looks a little closer. 40% though. Toby with slightly more. And is Dello close enough? He started off this straight about 5 or 6 tenths behind, and he ends it about 2 tenths behind. So if he starts the straight about 4 tenths behind Toby, then we know he can get him. Dello putting Toby under big pressure all the way. Toby took the lead away from him, and now Dello's trying to do the same back. Dello's really testing the game here, and Samurai has pitted. He did decide to pit, so Grush has got a free place out of all that. Samurai's put the mediums on. What is fastest lap? 17.2. He can probably beat that. Well, it's Oren, to be fair, so we'll see. So Samurai has lost a place after pitting too early. He braved it out, and he braved it for too long. So he's cost himself 2 points. That'll still be enough if Oren gets 8th. 4, 10, 6. So he went into today 3 points behind Oren. He'll leave today 3 points ahead of Oren for now. Obviously, if Toby wins, he'll also be right in the hunt now. Every week, another driver throwing his hat into the ring. And if Dello wins, I'm sure he'll do the same. Who knows, maybe Yonder could win. P17 to first would be quite the story. And he really has caught them. He's got incredible pace at the moment. 4 to go then. And let's look at the tyres. Toby's front right looks quite worn. So does Dello's, to be fair. Oh, Yonder's front right looks horrible compared to the other 2. Wow. Yet he's still pushing his way on. Grush is gaining well over a couple seconds a lap on these guys, but like I said, you're not going to make up half a minute. Well, within 10 laps anyway. And can these 3 get their tyres to the end? Are any of them going to go pop? I really hope not. Dello's having to push to put Toby under pressure, meaning he's pushing, but also Dello's pushing. So I don't know, but Yonder's also been pushing to make his way through the field, so it's not like any of them have really a tyre advantage over the other. Cal's ahead of Yannick, so now he has to gap him by 3 seconds to get P6. So, 3-way fight then for the win at Imola, the final Emilia Romagna Grand Prix in EXFL Tier 2. And Dello's a lot closer this time around. Like I said, he needs to start the straight 4 tenths behind or lower. At the moment, it's 4 and a bit. So he might have a chance, but with very little battery compared to Toby, that is also going to be a factor in this. And he just can't gain enough. Toby has him covered every lap, playing it perfectly. We know how disappointed and angry Toby was after Qatar a fortnight ago. But he's come here to Imola 2 weeks later, and he is really doing well. We got yellows. That is that's Samurai taking the fastest. I think that was Dead Gun just getting out of the way. I think he was being lapped. And I'm pretty sure that was a warning for Toby. I don't do this often, but I actually am going to check their warnings real quick. 4-5. Wow. So Toby... Oh, Dello! Dello's lost it on the exit. Yonder's up to P2 now. Dello in... Well, I forgot the corner name, but in Sector 2, after 30 laps, the pole sitter has once again made a mistake in the race and has lost the car. He'll still get the podium at the moment if he can make those tyres go to the end. That's freed up Toby a little with 2 laps to go. But now Yonder spies an opportunity to win this Grand Prix after starting 17th on the grid. He's up 15 places, and now there's only one car in front of him between him and victory. I know he said in the off-season, I want to be a reserve. So he is first reservist. Tello now gets that time penalty. I don't even need to check his warnings now. But yeah, Toby's been on 2 warnings since the 5th lap, practically just before the safety car. And Yonder's putting him under so much pressure. As much as I said Toby's never won, and neither has Dello, neither has Yonder. He's only had, 5 podiums, and he's been waiting one day for that victory. We are going to get a new race winner today, but who's it going to be? Last season, we saw a last lap overtake for victory, which was Adam, who saw him then begin his charge to win the championship in season 11. One season later, a bit of deja vu. Who's it going to be? Is it going to be Yonder or is it going to be Toby? We don't know Yonder's warnings, but we know Toby's feeling the pressure. So Yonder gets the DRS. That is confirmed. We head on to the final lap. 70% to Toby's 50. Toby's done everything right so far this race. But the main thing, you have to be first. Crossing the line on that last lap. If everyone around you has the same amount of pens. Toby's got a good exit, however, as we start the final lap of the Emilia Romagna Grand Prix. And Yonder isn't close enough for now. So Toby got a great run there. And Yonder, who's never really wanted to be that aggressive, will take P2, I guess. But who knows? We've still got a few miles left. It's not over yet. And Toby just has to navigate his way through. About 12 more corners. Yonder's really taking the limits as Toby sees it. Goes defensive to the inside. And if Yonder can get the power on, maybe he can spot an opportunity here. He has quite a bit more battery than Toby at the moment. But Toby's still defending brilliantly. Yonder putting him under all sorts of pressure. It is not over until it is over. The RB wants to win at home. Toby wants to win for a first time. Yonder wants to win for a first time. He's nearly done a Dello. Exiting the corner there. That might have just freed up Toby, who just has to navigate his way through the last chicane. Technically, I guess the last opportunity for warnings. Yonder's tyres are seeing the cliff now, and Toby can start to see the sky emerge for race victory number 1. He had it cruelly taken away from him a fortnight ago in Qatar. He comes here to Imola for the final time at the Emilia Romagna Grand Prix, and Toby is going to win for the first time in EXFL Tier 2. Toby wins the Emilia Romagna Grand Prix. Yonder from P17 comes home for a brilliant P2 finish. Dello will complete the podium with that penalty and late mistake, dropping him a place behind the sister Red Bull. Grush will finish 4th, only 6 seconds behind at the end, and Samurai 5th will take the lead in the championship, I'm pretty sure. And Cal will finish P6 ahead of Yannick in 7th. Looks like Louis will drop down behind Oren, who will finish 8th. And at the moment, Adam is going to be on for his first points finish position. Dadgun didn't get any points in the end, unfortunately. But yeah, Toby is a race winner in EXFL Tier 2. He's done it. A fantastic drive. Brilliant defense. So much pressure right at the end. But he kept cool. He kept in control. And he has now fully deserved that first win. Second time around. Yonder really did deserve it too. And so did Dello. I'm sure his time will come. Poisonous Gold crosses the line. Oren, disappointing race today. And Adam, after 16 attempts of trying, finally gets his first points finish in EXFL Tier 2. It's great to see. It's a bit like Hulkenberg, I guess, in the Sauber and whatnot. But yeah, fantastic stuff from him. Yeah, crazy, chaotic Imola race. And fair play to the top 3 for making their tyres last 24 laps. Wow. Let's get the top 3 in. Dello's just messaged me saying evening. We have a few things to discuss. Right. Toby, Yonder, and Dello. I'm on a black screen. Why am I on a black screen? Well, we have the top 3 joining. There we go. This is early, considering I'm still watching the podium. I'm going to have to unfortunately skip that, because I do not know if there's any time left. Hopefully, Tier 2 didn't break the race director this time. I don't think it was that bad. There we go. We'll quickly grab the race director. Yep, it's here. All good. And there we go. Quickly grab the second half of the order, and then we will talk to our top 3. There we go. Right. We have joined the party at the moment. Toby and Dello, still waiting for Yonder. There he is. Invite. Right, as we load back into the lobby after quite a race. Toby, are you there, mate?
I indeed am.
Have you included your audio?
Yes.
Perfect. Dello, are you there, mate?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Have you included your audio?
Yeah.
All right, great. I'm sure Yonder will join in a minute. We'll obviously start off with our race winner, our new maiden victory for Toby Lobster. There's Yonder. I'll quickly just make sure his audio is included. Yonder, are you there, mate?
Yep, I'm here.
Hello, have you included your audio?
Yes, I have.
Fantastic. Right, let's start. Toby, you are an EXFL Tier 2 race winner. You have won the Emilia Romagna Grand Prix, the final Emilia Romagna Grand Prix in EXFL Tier 2. Redemption, a fortnight later after the win was potentially cruelly taken away from you in Qatar. You have come back and absolutely thrashed in Italy. Fantastic stuff. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling amazing after that.
Yes, as you should. I thought you'd be pretty happy. The emotions and stress must have been quite high. You were under so much pressure all race. The start wasn't the best, like we've seen in the past. It wasn't as bad as, I guess, Saudi. You dropped a place and then just fought your way off bit by bit into the front. And then the defence was amazing. And yeah, fully deserved for you and Yonder and Dello to make the tyres last to the end. And yeah, just take us through quali in the race from your perspective. How do you think it went?
Well, thank you so much. I think quali went quite well, but I was having an issue with my wheel even through the race where I would shift up and it would do a double shift, losing me a decent bit of time. So quali was good, but then the start, I fumbled as usual, normal for me. So I just thought to play the tyre game really, save the rears and then do what I can, which towards about lap 5, P2 and P3 tyres started to go and I thought this is my kind of chance to go. And then with the hards, it was kind of just the same thing. Wait for their tyres to go and save mine.
Exactly, and then the safety car came out, and was your first thought, well, obviously you were going to pit from mediums to hards, that was a no-brainer. Was your first thought, I can't make these go to the end, or I'm going to try and make these go to the end, or I'm definitely making these go to the end?
My first thought was, I was thinking of a double pit stop, but then I thought I can make these tyres last. So I tried my best to make them last.
I'm going to ask all of you this, obviously, but what were your tyres on at the end?
78% was my highest.
Wow. So, because I always sometimes get it wrong. Sometimes I'll be thinking, how on earth do they make them last at the end? And then the guys in the party will just say, oh, by the way, they were on 50. They weren't even close to... And then sometimes they'll say, oh, they were on 90. They were about to pop. So 78, fair enough. I mean, as soon as you get past that 70, 75, who knows? But overall, it really did look like you managed to keep your tyres in best shape by the end. Obviously, Dello made that mistake on the exit, and then on the last lap, Yonder even nearly replicated that. So you didn't put a foot wrong after retaking the lead. I don't ever really do this. I like to make it a surprise, but I just couldn't help myself out. I quickly, with a few laps to go, wanted to check all of your warnings. And I saw you had 2 warnings since the 5th lap. That is incredibly amazing and consistent since then to not put a foot wrong. I'm sure there must have been a few close calls, however.
Indeed, there was definitely a few close calls where I kind of had a code brown, especially at turn 1.
It couldn't have been a more badly timed moment, though, when when about 90% of my screen is looking at race director, and then I just see a Red Bull lose the car off into the grass. I'm sure for you, however, at that time, a sigh of relief must have happened, and then your breath must have caught back when you realised Yonder was right behind you. I'm sure those last few laps. What was the most stressful part of that race? Was it fighting Dello, fighting Yonder, fighting yourself to not lose it?
I think the most stressful part was to defend, really, especially on that main straight with the DRS. I just had to try and figure out, using the temps, how much ERS and what I needed to use and when I could go into none or not. And that was kind of the stressful part, figuring out if Delo's going to get me or not.
Exactly. Your battery management was amazing the whole race. It looked like most of the time you had more than Dello. On the last lap, Yonder did have about 20% more. He had about 70 or 80 compared to your 50 or what. But it looked like on the exit, either you got a really good one or Yonder got not the best, or both. And well, it wasn't close there, but it wasn't over because he decided. I think he used up a warning through the second chicane, and I don't know if you saw, because you went defensive and then he nearly had a chance. But throughout it all, congratulations, you are EXFL Tier 2's 78th different winner. You join a very cool list, and you can finally hold your head up high. You have won, and what a win as well. Fantastic stuff. Final
so
question. Italy doubleheader. We're back still in Italy next week at Monza. How are you feeling for that one?
Ugh. Yeah, never a good track for me. It's a bit iffy.
But you like this one?
I do.
Well, you might be in the very small bracket for that one, because apparently a lot of people do not like this track. I'm sure they'd much rather do Monza, but like I said, there's always a few who are the opposite, and it shows. Those who like this strive, and very well done. And if you don't like Monza, at least for this next week, you can hold your head up high.
Yes.
You are the new latest Tier 2 race winner, and like last week, like the last few weeks, whoever's won the race, that's really just their audition to toss their hat into the ring of fighting for this championship, because you were on 42 points. Now you're on 67, which puts you ahead of Finn by 6. Samurai got P5, so he's on 73. Oren is on 70. So I believe, Samurai, like I said, is in the lead. So you are only 6 points off the lead, and now a 3-4. Whatever. Who still knows who else could fight for this championship? You are certainly in it now. After obviously Qatar, Japan last week was slightly disappointing. Don't retire on track again, by the way. But,
sorry about that.
No worries. But yeah, you've come right back, and it's great to see. So yeah, very well done.
Cool. Thank you very much.
On to P2 then. Yonder has done it again. Wow, what a race. I'm going to assume, Yonder, you purposely start at the back for these races.
Yeah, one of the reasons why is I can't, for the life of me, seem to get off the line well on the wheel. You know, the good old pedals. So I kind of just say, right, I'm either going to be taken out and sent to the back, or I start at the back and just go through the melee. I mean, I think by turn 4 I was already up to P12, so it kind of works out.
Yeah, exactly. Avoid all the chaos. So you did qualify last, but obviously Adam had a grid pen, so that promoted you one place to 17th. After a few laps, you were already in the top 8. I think you'd already halved the field. It shouldn't even come as a surprise now. Every race you've done this season has just been amazing to go from the back to points. And then the safety car obviously brought you back into contention for a win. I mean, obviously, if without, maybe you could have fought up to the podium. It would have been interesting. But it brought you right into it. You had brilliant tyre management to fight your way one by one up through the field. And then when you were in that 4-car train after Grush pitted, Toby, Dello, Samurai, you, what was the game plan? Did you think, I can still win this race? I can just try and pick them off one by one? Or were tyres also a struggle?
Well, to be honest, I don't, when Grush, as soon as he lost DRS to the guys ahead, I was able to pick him off. And then, same with Samurai, etc. Keeping the tyres in a good state wasn't too hard. However, the it was always just watching the gaps really. That whole kind of last 20 odd laps, watching the gaps, making sure they stay in DRS. If not, I need to be in a position where I'm right behind them to pick them off. Um, and yet, to be honest, I they had they were very trimmed out on the straights. Like I wasn't anywhere. I mean, even on that last lap with Toby, I did have a bit of a error going into the I don't know what you call the like two left-handers, but the first one of that I got in the gravel slightly on the exit, kind of ruined that run up into turn one. However, I just couldn't match them down the straights whatsoever. So I knew my chance would come in the corners, and yeah, that's why I saved my tyres up. And then as soon as it became three cars, me, Dello, and uh, Top Lobster, as soon as that happened, that's when I started potentially looking for a move.
Fair enough. Yeah, I did think something must have happened in the final couple of corners. But yeah, just before that, you obviously saw Dello lose the car right in front of you, a lap or two, just before the end. Was that maybe the first thought that came into your head, thinking, I can win this?
To be honest, I don't think I'm winning it until I actually get a win, first of all, in the EXFL. I think it's been like 25 races or something, and I've still not touched the top step. So until I win a race, I'm not going to be thinking about any of that. Just
Sorry
the podium
correct.
and comeback drives.
Yeah, it's 28. But it's definitely coming.
Yeah, even better.
It's definitely coming. This is your sixth podium, I think, now. But you still always manage to do it in style. It is always a pleasure to see you on the podium. And that first top step is certainly coming. Same with Dello. You both deserve it, and I'm sure, and I'm confident you'll both get that soon. But for now, brilliant second place finish. You had a few little looks on the last lap, but it looked like Toby had it covered.
Yeah.
He was straight line speed. You were good in the corners with downforce, and it still came down to really close margins. I think that is something quite underrated about this track that people don't give it enough credit for. But still, fantastic effort once again. Maybe just try qualifying. You never know. But I did point it out.
Don't know.
I
it's
did
going
point it
well
out
for the moment.
Yeah, it is, to be fair. I did point it out, however. I bet if you do decide to qualify, let's say you qualify fifth, you'll finish like fifth. It'll be the exact same
I'd rather
thing.
go up.
Exactly. It'll be the exact same thing. You keep doing this, I'm going to have to make a new record or something like most places gained in a season or something.
That
would
is
be
the aim.
that would be long.
In that last week. That's the goal. Make you do a bit more work.
Well, the next influx of records is coming within the next week. I think there's like 48 new records I've made, and weirdly, I already have the next influx set up. Whenever I'm going to have to add that at this rate. But yeah. So what were your tyres on at the end?
So I think when I crossed the line, they were on 81. But until it became a three-car battle, I felt my tyres were in much better shape than everyone else. As I said, I felt like I had a bit more wing. So especially when it came down to that last lap, when I saw Dello go off, I was like, typical. It's like he was either getting a 3 seconds or he's spinning off. No disrespect, Dello,
You
but
got both. Unfortunately,
yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. I looked on board with all three of you on, I think, the penultimate or third to last lap. I was just looking at all of your front rights. Toby's looked semi-okay. Dello's looked pretty similar, maybe slightly better. And I looked at yours, and it definitely looked the worst out of the three of them. I don't know why.
Which one?
Your front right.
Well, to be fair, it's probably because you get a bit more turning performance or something, a bit more.
Yeah.
Don't really know. The game works differently to real life sometimes.
Anyway, if it wasn't for the fact that there are two great drivers in the RB of Finn and Yannick, Finn should be back next week, so unfortunately I think you're going to have to reserve a different team. But it's been great to have you as like the third driver. As much as during the off-season you did ask me, I want to be reserve, and you are first reserve, I definitely do want to give you obviously a full-time seat when the next one arrives. But if you still want to be reserved, that's up to you. We'll discuss later. But for now, well done. A career best finish of P2. That P1 I'm sure will certainly come. I swear to God, if you do like a last to first, I'm going to lose it. But very well done bringing RB onto the podium at, I guess, that home race. And like I said to Toby, we're still in Italy doubleheader. How are you feeling for Monza next week?
Considering I've never been good, I feel like most of the time I gain is in the corners. But obviously Monza, there's only really a couple here and there where you can make the difference up. So
Mm.
not really looking forward to it.
That's fair.
It's going to be and then all the slower drivers are going to be sticking with us in the DRS and
Hmm.
bombarding us into turn one. So that'd be great.
We shall see. We definitely will see how it plays out. Who knows? But that's quite surprising. 2 people out of 2 saying Imola's better than Monza. I thought they would it'd definitely be the other way around. Either way, fantastic stuff. Well done. And moving on to our P3 man, Dello. Well, it's not gone as badly as Saudi, to be fair. You took your second pole position. You were in a league of your own in qualifying. A fantastic lap, I must say. You're the first driver this season to get 2 pole positions. You've broken the streak. It is not 6 out of 6. It is Dello for a second time. You had a good start, held the lead, and then came under slight pressure from the likes of Samurai and Oren. You fended them off, but then Toby came up, overtook you, and then the rest of the race, I think you just threw everything, bar the kitchen sink at him to try and get him. And then by the end, I think it must have been just a bit too much on the tyres to lose it like that and lose second. But it's still a podium, your 3rd podium now, and you're still gaining quite a bit on the leaders. So by no stretch of the imagination are you not out of this. It's only round 6. But yeah, overall, what are your thoughts on the qualifying and the race?
I mean, qualifying was obviously good. I noticed when I was like 4 tenths ahead, like the first, like the first run round. So that was obviously good. But I was expecting people to sort of close the gap in quali, but then I just do one more lap, or I do my last lap and I gain another 3 tenths. So yeah, obviously qualifying was good. The race is it's quite frustrating, really. I mean, I'm in his DRS from lap like 11, whatever it was, to 30, and you just can't overtake. So it's like I didn't know what to do. But yeah, it was annoying, but it was still good. I mean, third is still good. So
Yeah, I fully understand. I mean, his wings must have been pretty low compared to yours, as well as also always having a bit more battery to play with. I saw you got, maybe it was a bit desperate once heading into turn 1 or 2 or whatnot. A little send to the inside, which sent you over the curb. I don't know if you got a warning for that.
I don't think I did. I know what you're talking about, though. The issue was it's the I don't know if it was like this for everyone or it's just me, but every time going into turn 1, I just can't see. I mean, obviously it didn't help how he's ahead of me, but I just couldn't see like the curb or anything because of the sun
Yeah,
or just
no, that's
whatever.
fair.
It was just yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
it's definitely frustrating to be in that position where you try everything you possibly can, save, and then go and then literally blast everything and nothing makes a difference. It's very difficult. And like Yonder put it, you maybe just have to resort to the corners, go for a little send, or all these scenarios pop in. But sometimes sometimes you just feel a bit helpless. But sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I do have to ask, what were your tyres on at the end?
the rear right was on 70, like 72, something like that.
Oh, okay. So when you lost the car, unfortunately, out of the exit of the uphill corner, was that just a misjudgment of throttle or a mistake, or well, it clearly was, but just what
Yeah,
happened?
I mean, I was just trying to. Obviously, I think it was by lap. It was by lap 25. I was just like, okay, I need to try something else to, you know, try get ahead. And that was one corner I felt like I would have been able to. Was maybe not there specifically, but trying to get him into like the chicane or
Yeah,
somewhere in sector 1. I wanted to try and make a move, but it was that moment there. I was just, I was trying to just get a better exit and maybe there was a chance of sending it down the inside.
yeah.
For the chicane, but yeah, it didn't obviously didn't work out so
I
well.
mean, hindsight is a beautiful thing, but I guess another alternative method was if you got a good exit out of the last chicane and then blasted on that little straight into the last couple corners. If you stayed behind, got DRS, and then overtook him into the last couple corners, you'd then be ahead and have DRS to maybe stay ahead of him on the straight and whatnot. But that's just maybe one method. Either way, it's unfortunate to to make the mistake. I mean, the 3 second didn't even matter in the end, so don't worry about that. But it's still another podium, and you gain quite a lot of decent points. That is your third podium, right? You obviously got your one in
third
Bahrain.
one for the season.
The season. I thought
Yeah,
it was third overall.
Bahrain, Qatar, and then this one.
It is indeed. So you joined Finn. Most podiums so far this season. Fantastic. So you were on 35 points. So you're now on the big 5-0 on to Martin's 73. So definitely there's loads of you within a win of one another. So this is certainly going to be anyone's game at the moment. So keep at it. You're in a league of your own in qualifying. Pole by half a second. That's one of the biggest pole margins I've seen in years, really. I can't remember the last time it was that. I've seen a pole margin that big, so you should be very happy with yourself, because that qualifying was flawless from you. Every lap you did, you went quicker. 14.6, a 14.5, and I think your last lap was a 14.2 in the end. Am I mistaken?
Yeah.
I think I can officially say, you in the final, and this is the last time I'll say it, maybe the second last time, in the final EXFL Emilia Romagna Tier 2 Grand Prix, you have broken the qualifying lap record. That is, we've had 10 races at Imola in the 12 seasons of EXFL Tier 2, and you have just set the fastest qualifying lap in history. So, yeah, you should be very happy with that lap. It was fantastic, and hopefully that's something to make up for the race. But your first win is coming, like I told Yonder. Keep at it. You are definitely in this fight. Keep your head up high, no dust off your shoulders, and keep trying. So yeah, final question. What are your thoughts on Monza next week?
Unlike the other two, I prefer it than Imola. I'm just not a big fan of Imola, so yeah, Monza's generally been a better track for me anyway. But we'll see. A lot can happen in Monza. That's the thing. If you have a bad quali, you start in the mid pack in turn one. It's not fun. So yeah, Monza's just a weird one. You tend to get like a different race winner in Monza, like not different, like an unusual race winner in Monza. So yeah, we'll see what happens.
It's kind of mad. This guy gets pole by half a second, a track he doesn't like, and then he's talking about Italy and whatnot. So you better get pole by a second next week.
No, Monza, no.
No, I'm sure, because yeah, out of all the drivers who have improved their quali pace from last season to this season, you are certainly, I think, number one at the moment. Grusha's up there maybe, but yeah, you're taking the cake at the moment. So yeah, most poles of anyone, most podiums of anyone, well, joint. But so yeah, that first win, it's in the stars, it's written, it's definitely coming. But like you said, Monza, turn one, mid-pack, it could certainly get interesting, so that makes qualifying ever more important. As for Yonder, he'll probably be at the back and watch it all unfold and be probably fourth by
pit lane.
Yeah. Or you could just head straight on and avoid it all. We'll see. But yeah, that has been the final Tier 2 Emilia Romagna Grand Prix. Well done to Dello and Yonder on their podiums, and well done to Toby on becoming the newest Tier 2 race winner. That is 5 different winners in the first 6 races. Obviously, Oren, the multiple race winner, back-to-back in the desert. So yeah, we move on to round 7 for Monza in 1 week's time. The championships ever continuing, building piece by piece. We have no idea who's going to emerge out on top at the moment. These are the exciting times in the season where they make their mark. And at the moment, every week, a new driver's making their mark. So who will it be next week? We will find out.